Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we are going to be teaching you a very important technique, especially for the guys if you want to have good luck with the ladies, right?
Oh, Marco. Well, today's lesson is called That's Flattering.
Right. So we are going to be teaching you how to flatter someone.
Okay, so what does it mean to flatter someone?
Well, basically you're going to be giving compliments and you're going to make that person feel good about themselves.
That's right. Okay, so flattering. Now, before we get on with this flattering lesson, we need to look at some vocabulary in Vocabulary Preview.
Vocabulary Preview.
All right, on Vocabulary Preview today, we have two small words. So the first one is bar exam.
The bar exam.
The bar exam.
So the bar exam is that formal test that lawyers must do to become official lawyers.
Right. So it's that final exam in order to finally become a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what about our next word?
Well, we're also going to hear in the dialogue obnoxious.
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 Okay, so this is an adjective.
Yes, and it means something that is really, really annoying.
Okay, so something can be something can be obnoxious.
Or someone.
Or someone. Okay, very good. So now we have these two words that we're going to listen to in the dialogue. And now let's listen to two people as they flatter each other in our dialogue.
Valerie, hi. Wow, how have you been? It's been such a long time.
Darlene, indeed, it's been a while. How have you been? Wow, you look amazing. I love what you've done with your hair.
Really? Thanks. I went to that hair salon you told me about, but enough about me. Look at you. God, you haven't aged a day. What is your secret?
Come on. Well, I've been watching what I eat, and I work out 3 times a week. By the way, I heard your son recently graduated.
Yes, my little Paul is finally a doctor. They grow up so fast, you know.
He is such a handsome guy. He gets his looks from his mother, of course.
Thank you. What about your daughter, Pamela? I heard she passed the bar exam and married recently.
Oh, yes, she had a beautiful wedding in Cozumel, Mexico, and we all attended.
Such a lovely girl. I hope my Paul is lucky enough to find a girl like that someday.
But of course. Well, it's been great talking to you, but I have to get going.
Same here. We'll catch up soon, maybe over coffee.
That would be great. Give me a call.
See you soon. Bye. Ugh, I cannot stand that woman or her obnoxious daughter.
All right, so this is your typical, normal, everyday behavior that women show to each other, right?
Yeah, I think it's very common. It's very hard to argue against this because I think everyone does it, or at least you've heard maybe your mother or somebody talk to her friends like this, right?
So pretend you like a person who you actually hate.
Right, you have to be courteous.
Is that what you're doing to me now?
All right, no, I'm not, but we can take a look at some of this great language, very rich language that we found in this dialogue in Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
All right, we're doing things a little bit different in this lesson. So we're going to do 2 fluency builders. And in the first one, we're going to focus on language you can use to flatter someone.
Right. So let's get started. In the very first part of the dialogue, we heard Valerie say, "I love what you've done with your hair."
I love what you've done with your hair.
I love what you've done with.
I love what you've done with.
Okay, so if somebody says this, basically they're saying,
I like the change you made.
Okay, and change not only to your hair, right?
It could be anything. So I love what you've done with your new house.
Okay, or I can say, I love what you've done with your garden. It looks so beautiful.
So something that you've changed, you can use this phrase for.
Okay, and in this case, it's her hair, so she is complimenting her on her hair.
We also heard Darlene say, you haven't aged a day.
You haven't aged a day.
You haven't aged a day.
Okay, so now she is saying that she hasn't gotten any older.
That's right. To age is to get older.
Okay, so this is a very common way of telling somebody you look great.
That's right. You look young.
You look young. You look great. You haven't aged a day.
All right, so then they talk about their kids, and they're talking about the son, and Valerie says, he's such a handsome guy.
He is such a handsome guy.
He is such a handsome guy.
Okay, so this structure is important because now I can change the adjective and I am saying he is very intelligent. He is such an intelligent guy.
That's right. Or even, this is such a good day.
All right, very good. So now why don't we combine the two phrases that we've just heard? I love what you've done with and he is such a, and let's listen to some examples.
Example 1.
We love what you've done with this place. Such a beautiful room.
Example 2. I love what you've done with your hair. Such a nice colour on you. Example 3.
I love what you've done with this space. Such a wonderful garden.
Okay, I really like how those two phrases can fit together.
Yeah, they are very good, and now you can use them together or separately, like in the dialogue.
That's right. Now let's move to our final flattering phrase. Valerie says that Darlene's son gets his looks from his mother.
Right, she says he gets his looks from his mother, of course.
He gets his looks from.
Okay, so when she says he gets his looks from, she is saying his appearance.
His positive appearance, his good appearance.
Right, his good looks. Okay, so now we can change the noun and I can say he gets his intelligence from his father.
Right? Or even he gets his beautiful singing voice from his mother.
Okay, so now typically you would say his mother, his father, or maybe one of the grandparents, right?
Maybe, yeah.
But you wouldn't say he gets his good looks from his brother.
No. No. Mother, father, grandma, grandpa.
All right, so now that we've covered 4 great ways of flattering someone, let's listen to this dialogue again, but we're going to slow it down a little bit so you can pick up on these phrases.
Valerie, hi. Wow, how have you been? It's been such a long time.
Darlene, indeed, it's been a while. How have you been? Wow, you look amazing. I love what you've done with your hair.
Really? Thanks. I went to that hair salon you told me about, but enough about me. Look at you. God, you haven't aged a day. What is your secret?
Come on. Well, I've been watching what I eat, and I work out 3 times a week. By the way, I heard your son recently graduated.
Yes, my little Paul is finally a doctor. They grow up so fast, you know.
He is such a handsome guy. He gets his looks from his mother, of course.
Thank you. What about your daughter, Pamela? I heard she passed the bar exam and married recently.
Oh, yes, she had a beautiful wedding in Cozumel, Mexico, and we all attended.
Such a lovely girl. I hope my Paul is lucky enough to find a girl like that someday.
But of course. Well, it's been great talking to you, but I have to get going.
Same here. We'll catch up soon, maybe over coffee.
That would be great. Give me a call.
See you soon. Bye. Ugh, I cannot stand that woman or her obnoxious daughter.
Okay, so we see a lot of great flattering language in this dialogue, but we also have some really good language and phrases you can use in small talk in any situation.
Right, so maybe if you talk to a friend that you haven't seen in a while, we have some really great phrases for, as you say, small talk.
So let's look at those now in Fluency Builder, Part 2.
Fluency Builder.
Okay, so let's start with the first phrase. She says, Valerie, hi, wow, how are you? It's been such a long time.
It's been such a long time.
It's been such a long time.
So basically here she's saying we haven't seen each other in a long time.
Right, but it kind of gives you that idea that she regrets not talking to her for such a long time.
Yeah, she wishes she could have talked to her.
It's been such a long time. How are you?
So a wonderful way to start a conversation. So when they start talking about their kids, Valerie says, by the way, I heard your son recently graduated.
Right. By the way, I heard your son recently graduated.
So this phrase, by the way, I heard, blah, 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 is really, really useful.
Right. Let's take a look at the first part. By the way.
So this is a way to connect two different ideas or to start a new topic.
Exactly. And now when she says, I heard your son recently graduated.
So we use this phrase, I heard, when we've got information that we're not sure about.
Right? Or also you are demonstrating interest about a certain topic or a news event that you would like to know about.
Right. And so basically you're asking the other person, tell me about this.
Right. So I can say, hey, by the way, I heard you got married.
So then I'd tell you all about my wedding.
Exactly. Okay, so this is a very common way of talking to someone or getting some more information from a person. So let's listen to some more examples of by the way.
Example 1. By the way, I heard you've recently been promoted. Example 2.
I heard your daughter just had a baby. Congratulations!
Example 3. Oh, I heard you just got back from holiday in France.
All right, now, since these two ladies don't like each other very much, they want to end the conversation, right?
Right, they want to end the conversation and, well, you want to end it in a polite way, right?
So they use a really great phrase here. They said, it's been great talking to you, but I have to get going.
Right, so it's like, well, it's been great talking to you, but I have to get going.
So it's been great talking to you. I've enjoyed talking to you.
Right. So this is a very polite, very subtle way of saying, hey, I have to go, or
Yep.
bye, I can't talk anymore.
Yeah, when you say that, you know that the conversation is ending.
Exactly. Now, she says, I have to get going. What does it mean, get going? That doesn't make much sense.
Basically, it just means leave.
Okay, I have to leave. I have to get going. You should get going. You're gonna be late.
Exactly.
Okay.
Some really good small talk phrases that are useful in any situation. So why don't we hear them again one more time by listening to the dialogue?
Valerie, hi. Wow, how have you been? It's been such a long time.
Darlene, indeed, it's been a while. How have you been? Wow, you look amazing. I love what you've done with your hair.
Really? Thanks. I went to that hair salon you told me about, but enough about me. Look at you. God, you haven't aged a day. What is your secret?
Come on. Well, I've been watching what I eat, and I work out 3 times a week. By the way, I heard your son recently graduated.
Yes, my little Paul is finally a doctor. They grow up so fast, you know.
He is such a handsome guy. He gets his looks from his mother, of course.
Thank you. What about your daughter, Pamela? I heard she passed the bar exam and married recently.
Oh, yes, she had a beautiful wedding in Cozumel, Mexico, and we all attended.
Such a lovely girl. I hope my Paul is lucky enough to find a girl like that someday.
But of course, well, it's been great talking to you, but I have to get going.
Same here. We'll catch up soon, maybe over coffee.
That would be great. Give me a call.
See you soon. Bye. Ugh, I cannot stand that woman or her obnoxious daughter.
All right, very good. So now you have a couple of phrases that you can use to flatter someone, be it your friend or somebody that you know or anyone. And, well, they are very, very useful, and if you use them correctly, of course.
Right, and these phrases sound really honest and really natural, very native-like.
Today, we're going to explore a topic that's both fun and very practical: how to flatter someone in English. Whether you're at work, attending a party, meeting someone's family, or just making small talk, knowing how to compliment someone the right way can help you build relationships, sound friendly, and leave a positive impression. The key is knowing what to say, how to say it, and when to say it. So, let's look at real phrases native speakers use, and how you can use them naturally and confidently. Let's begin with something that's simple but powerful: compliments on appearance. One of the most natural phrases you'll hear is, "You look great today." It's friendly, casual, and perfect for almost any situation. You can also say, "I love your style," or "That color looks amazing on you." These are quick ways to make someone feel noticed and appreciated. If you're complimenting someone's new haircut or outfit, you might say, "I love what you've done with your hair," or "That jacket suits you perfectly." The verb suit means something looks good on someone. You can also use, "You've got great taste," when someone's fashion, furniture, or even music choices impress you. Now, in social settings like family gatherings or reunions, you might want to comment on how someone looks after a long time. A very common phrase is, "You haven't aged a day." This is usually said with a smile, and even if it's a little exaggerated, it's considered a polite and charming thing to say. You might also hear, "You look exactly the same," which would be a very flattering way to say someone still looks young or fit. When talking about someone's children, people often give compliments by saying things like, "He's so handsome," or "She's absolutely beautiful." These are polite and kind, and they're often followed by another phrase like, "She must get it from her mom," or "He gets his good looks from you." This type of compliment not only flatters the child, but also makes the parent feel good. Flattery also works in more subtle ways, like praising someone's home. A natural thing to say is, "Your place is lovely," or "You've made this place so warm and welcoming." If you're visiting someone for the first time, you might say, "I love what you've done with the living room," or "This space really reflects your personality." These comments show thoughtfulness and help build positive connections. In professional or formal situations, flattery can be more strategic. For example, if you admire someone's presentation, you could say, "That was such a clear and engaging talk," or "You explained it so well. I really learned a lot." These phrases are honest, but also encouraging. They're the kind of compliments that help you build a good relationship in the workplace without sounding too personal. The secret to good flattery is sounding sincere. You don't have to use big words, just be specific. Instead of saying, "You're amazing," you could say, "I really admire the way you handled that situation," or "You always know how to make people feel comfortable." These kinds of compliments feel real because they focus on something clear and positive. Flattery, when done right, is not about being fake. It's about making people feel good in a polite and socially smart way. When you use phrases like, "I love your style," "You haven't aged a day," "He gets his look from you," or "You explain that really well," you show that you're thoughtful, observant, and confident with your English. Flattery plays a big role in building friendly and professional relationships, and the way you compliment someone can depend a lot on the situation. In English, people often use light, casual compliments to keep a conversation warm and relaxed. But there's also a deeper level of flattery, one that focuses not just on how someone looks, but on who they are and what they do. These compliments go beyond the surface, and when used well, they make your English sound more natural, sincere, and emotionally intelligent. Let's start with personality-based compliments. These are comments that show you notice someone's character or attitude. A great phrase is, "You're such a good listener." This sounds genuine and thoughtful. It tells the other person that you value their attention and presence. Another common one is, "You always know how to cheer people up," which highlights someone's positive influence. You can also say, "You make people feel comfortable," or "There's something calming about the way you talk." These kinds of compliments are especially powerful in personal conversations because they show emotional awareness. You're not just observing, they're feeling it. Now, when it comes to work or talents, you'll hear phrases like, "You're really talented at what you do," or "I'm always impressed by your creativity." These are great when complimenting someone's skills or professional strengths. Another one that feels natural is, "You make it look easy," which is a friendly way to admire someone's ability while acknowledging the effort behind it. In creative fields, you might hear, "Your attention to detail is amazing," or "You have such a good eye for design." These phrases are specific and feel more meaningful than general compliments. In business settings, a polite way to flatter someone is to say, "You handled that meeting really well," or "You have a great way of getting your point across." These phrases help you build rapport while sounding professional. English speakers also love to use expressions like, "You're a natural." It's short and strong. It means someone seems naturally gifted at something, like public speaking, cooking, or even parenting. You might hear, "You're a natural with kids," or "You're a natural leader." This kind of compliment gives credit to someone's personality or instincts, not just their training or experience. Now let's look at how flattery fits into social interactions. Imagine you're meeting someone's partner or friend for the first time. A great way to be polite and kind is to say, "I've heard so many nice things about you," or "It's great to finally meet you." Name always speaks so highly of you. These phrases are respectful, soft, and make the other person feel welcomed. When you're complimenting someone in front of others, it's good to be subtle but sincere. For example, I'm lucky to work with someone like her. She's so organized. Or, he's the kind of person you can always count on. These phrases sound natural and are often used in team meetings, introductions, or casual group settings. There are also compliment phrases that people use playfully with a smile. Things like, "You're too kind," "Stop," "You're making me blush," or "Flattery will get you everywhere." These phrases are responses to compliments, and they help keep the mood light while still accepting praise. Mastering the art of flattery in English means knowing how to match the tone, choose the right words, and keep it natural. Compliments like "you're a natural," "you have a great eye," "you handled that well," or "you make people feel at ease" don't just sound good. They also build trust and connection. And when your flattery feels real, your English feels confident, kind, and culturally smart. Flattery can be especially effective when used in social situations where you want to make a strong first impression. English speakers often use light compliments to break the ice, show friendliness, or gently guide a conversation in a positive direction. In this part, we'll focus on how to use flattery in casual interactions, social events, and introductions, while learning the natural expressions that help you sound confident and polite at the same time. One of the most common places where flattery comes in handy is during small talk at parties, networking events, or informal gatherings. For example, if you're introduced to someone and you notice something nice about them, you could say, "That's a great watch, very classy," or "I love your shoes, super stylish." These simple compliments are more than just words. They help create warmth and friendliness between people who have just met. When someone invites you to their home, a great way to show appreciation is with a compliment about the space. You might say, "Your home is beautiful," or "You have such great taste in decoration." Another natural phrase is, "This place feels so cozy," which expresses comfort and admiration at the same time. These compliments are especially appreciated when visiting someone for the first time. English speakers often compliment food as a way of expressing gratitude and making conversation. Phrases like, "This is delicious," "You're an amazing cook," or "What's your secret ingredient?" are all common and friendly ways to flatter a host. You might also say, "I wish I could cook like this," which adds a little humor and humility to your compliment, making it feel even more genuine. In group settings or introductions, you can use compliments to ease tension or make someone feel included. Let's say you're meeting someone's partner or friend. You could say, "Now I see what Anne was talking about. You really are charming," or "You have such a warm smile. It's easy to talk to you." These phrases help build rapport quickly and naturally. There are also compliments that use comparisons to be extra flattering. For instance, "You remind me of someone famous," or "You've got the energy of someone half your age." These are often used in a fun, friendly way, not to be taken too seriously, but just enough to brighten the mood. In fact, many people use flattery as a kind of humor in social settings. They exaggerate slightly to create a smile, not because they're being dishonest, but because it adds charm and ease to the interaction. Another smart technique in English is to combine a compliment with a question. This keeps the conversation going and makes your flattery more engaging. For example, "That's a great outfit. Where did you get it?" Or "You have such a calm voice. Do you do public speaking?" These kinds of comments open the door to deeper conversation while still showing interest and appreciation. And don't forget how important tone is when giving a compliment. A soft voice, a warm smile, or relaxed body language makes your words feel more authentic. In English, how you say something often matters just as much as what you say. Even the best compliment can sound strange if it's said without emotion. So always try to match your tone to your message. Using flattery in social situations is an art, and when it's done well, it brings people closer, starts great conversations, and makes your English sound truly natural. Compliments like "You've got great taste," "This is delicious," "You have a warm smile," or "That a fantastic look for you" are not just words. They're tools for connection, and they help you leave a lasting impression wherever you go. Flattery isn't just about making someone feel good. It can also be a valuable communication tool in professional settings. In the workplace, Giving thoughtful compliments can build trust, improve teamwork, and even open doors to new opportunities. The key is knowing how to flatter respectfully, using language that feels genuine and appropriate. In this part, let's explore how to use flattery in professional conversations, job interviews, and team environments, using the kinds of expressions English speakers rely on every day. Let's begin with professional praise. When someone performs well at work, English speakers often use short, clear compliments like, "Great job on that project," or "You handled that presentation really well." These are simple but powerful. You can also add a little more detail to sound more thoughtful. For example, "Your research was so thorough, it really made a difference," or "I was impressed with how clearly you explained those numbers." These kinds of compliments show you were paying attention and truly appreciated the effort. In meetings, flattery can be used to support others and encourage teamwork. Phrases like, "I really liked what you said earlier," or "That's a great point. I hadn't thought of it that way," are respectful ways to agree with someone and boost their confidence. Even in group settings, small compliments help build a more positive environment. Now let's look at how flattery works in job interviews. It's common and smart to compliment the company, the interviewer, or the culture. You could say, "I've heard great things about the team here," or "I really admire the company's values and mission." These phrases show that you've done your homework, and they help build a good connection. You can also say, "Thank you for making me feel so welcome," which is a polite way to show appreciation while creating a friendly tone. When talking to someone in a higher position, like a manager or executive, it's best to keep flattery subtle and professional. You might say, "I've learned a lot from watching how you lead the team," or "I appreciate the way you give clear feedback. It really helps me improve." These kinds of compliments sound mature and thoughtful, not forced or overdone. In written communication, like emails or thank you notes, flattery is often paired with gratitude. For example, "Thank you for your support. Your guidance really helped me succeed." Or, "It's been a pleasure working with someone so detail-oriented and organized." These kinds of lines are polite, sincere, and commonly used in English-speaking workplaces. There are also workplace compliments that highlight soft skills. Phrases like, "You have a great way of bringing people together," or "Your calm approach really helps the team stay focused," are excellent examples. They don't just describe what someone did, they recognize how they did it. This kind of flattery builds trust and shows emotional intelligence. Sometimes, flattery is used when asking for help or advice. For example, "You're really experienced in this area. Would you mind sharing your thoughts?" Or, "I value your opinion. Can I ask you a quick question?" Complimenting someone before making a request is a common, polite strategy in English. It shows respect and often leads to a more helpful, open conversation. In every professional situation, sincerity is key. Over-flattering or sounding fake can hurt your credibility. But when you focus on someone's real strengths, use natural language, and speak with genuine respect, flattery becomes a powerful part of your English communication. Phrases like "You explain that really clearly," "I admire your leadership style," or "You make collaboration easy" are the kinds of compliments that help build strong, lasting professional relationships. Flattery is not just about using kind words. It's about understanding people, reading the situation, and choosing the right tone. Whether in casual conversations, social gatherings, or professional settings, flattery done well can make you more likable, more persuasive, and more connected to those around you. But to truly master in English, you need to know when flattery sounds warm and genuine, and when it might feel forced or even awkward. Let's start with one important tip: be specific. General compliments like "You're great" or "Nice job" are okay, but they don't leave much of an impact. A more effective compliment sounds like, "You always know how to explain things in a simple, clear way," or "Your ability to stay calm under pressure is really impressive." The more specific you are, the more authentic and thoughtful your compliment feels. Tone and body language also matter. In English, flattery is often delivered with a smile, a relaxed voice, and friendly eye contact. Saying something nice while looking bored or distracted can send the wrong message. That's why even a great phrase like, "You've done an amazing job," loses its power if your tone doesn't match. Always let your voice and face show that you mean what you say. Another great technique is to compliment progress, not just the result. Instead of only saying, "You nailed it," try, "I've seen how much effort you put into this. It really paid off." This shows that you noticed the journey, not just the finish line. In English, recognizing effort is a form of flattery that many people really appreciate, especially in workplaces or classrooms. Let's also look at a few more useful and natural compliment expressions. If someone helps you solve a problem, you could say, "You saved the day," or "I don't know what I would have done without you." These phrases are cheerful, informal, and often used between coworkers or friends. If someone gives you good advice, a nice response could be, "You always know the right thing to say," or "That really helped. Thank you for your insight." When someone shares good news, a thoughtful compliment might be, "I'm so happy for you. You deserve it," or "That's amazing. You've worked so hard for this." These kinds of responses show that you're not only listening, but also truly supportive. That's what makes your English sound kind and natural, not just correct, but caring. Now, what about when you receive a compliment? It's important to respond in a way that's polite and friendly. A simple "thank you," that means a lot, goes a long way. You can also say, "I really appreciate that," or even "You just made my day." These expressions help you accept praise gracefully, which is just as important as giving it. Remember, the goal of flattery isn't to get something, it's to build connection. And in English-speaking cultures, connection often starts with kindness, small talk, and sincere compliments. Whether you're saying, "I love how you handled that," "You're such a calming presence," or "You make people feel at ease," you're doing more than using vocabulary. You're building trust. With the right words, the right tone, and a little practice, flattery becomes one of the most powerful tools in your English toolkit. It helps you communicate with warmth, clarity, and confidence. And it's one of the best ways to make a lasting impression in any situation.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Short, friendly, unimportant conversations.
Small talk.
You haven't gotten older. You look young.
You haven't aged a day.
Speak badly of someone without them knowing.
Talk behind someone's back.
Pretend to like someone when you don't. Be hypocritical.
Two-faced.
Do something unkind to a friend.
Stab someone in the back.
Talk about the details of other people's lives.
Gossip.
I really like the design or change you made.
I love what you have done with.
Do physical exercise.
Work out.
Phrase used to shift to another topic.
By the way.
The exam to qualify as a lawyer.
Bar exam.
Leave.
Get going.
Really annoying.
Obnoxious. Let's try that faster.
Really annoying.
Obnoxious.
The exam to qualify as a lawyer.
Bar exam.
Speak badly of someone without them knowing.
Talk behind someone's back.
Pretend to like someone when you don't. Be hypocritical.
Two-faced.
I really like the design or change you made.
I love what you have done with.
Talk about the details of other people's lives.
Gossip.
Do something unkind to a friend.
Stab someone in the back.
Phrase used to shift to another topic.
By the way.
Short, friendly, unimportant conversations.
Small talk.
Do physical exercise.
Work out.
Leave.
Get going.
You haven't gotten older. You look young.
You haven't aged a day. Now say the word and hear it in a sentence. You haven't aged a day.
I am trying to discover a formula that will prevent me from aging.
You haven't aged a day.
It's inevitable. Your skin ages quicker when exposed to direct sunlight.
You haven't aged a day.
I don't mind aging. It's a natural process of life. Wow, Laura, this is such a beautiful home. I didn't study last night, and this is such a hard exam. I hate Luke. He's such a jerk with people sometimes.
I love what you have done with.
I love what you've done with your room. It looks great.
I love what you have done with.
I really love what you've done with your hair. I think green hair is so cool.
I love what you have done with.
Dorothy, I must admit I love what you've done with your office. It looks so much better this way. You know what? I heard that Tom has a new girlfriend. I heard that you are getting married. Is that true? From what I heard, there will be a managerial position open in the company next month. We discussed the merger plan over lunch this afternoon. I think the best way to do business is over a nice meal. Kathy and Richard talked about their wedding plans over a romantic dinner.